Yo. C'est parti.
Bien le bonsoir. Bonjour tout le monde, ici Ryne dans un tout nouvel épisode de Shadowverse. Aujourd'hui, on va piquer quelques curiosités. Ok, ça commence très bien.
Ah, revealing one's techniques would spoil the revelry.
If you already know that, then keep your trap shut.
There's no point in getting in the middle of that.
It's probably going to take a while, so if you don't mind, allow me to guide you through the laboratory.
Voilà, la traduction est beaucoup plus rapide, mais quand même, ça passe très bien. Non, le mec, bon, bah ça va encore durer un moment. Vous voulez visiter le laboratoire en attendant?
I'd be grateful for that. Are you sure we don't need to stop then?
We couldn't do that if we tried, and Eleanor seems to be enjoying herself at any rate.
They say you vampires drink blood, but you'll never reach my neck that way. You'd be lucky to ever push me to the ground.
What I feast upon is my own concern. You need only to fall down before me.
That does seem to be the case. I'll follow after you.
Very well, this way.
C'est vrai qu'ils ont l'air de beaucoup s'amuser.
That concludes our simple introduction of the facilities. Do you have any questions?
On n'a rien vu, mais aussi ça aurait été trop long.
Let's see. Well, it's not about the laboratory, but...
Please, ask away.
Thank you. About her. For as much as she hates messes and destruction, she isn't holding back.
It's been a long time since I've seen Eleanor like that. Urias is quite mighty.
Mighty? Well, he's certainly in a league of his own. One more thing. There are 4 other guilds like ours, right?
Yes. Nicola Adele represents a slight exception, though.
As far as I can see, all seem very self-centered, including the Magus Covenant. How are you able to maintain any kind of balance?
Were? Don't you mean to say are?
Yes, there's going to be a war soon, she was saying that.
I see. My apologies for going off on a tangent. Allow me to answer then. Simply put, no guild has any intention of disturbing the balance.
How can that be, though? If one guild were to eliminate the others, they'd receive its status, its property, and everything else.
The Order of Blade Right sees justice through, and it values protecting the people. Escamali doesn't have any clear way to battle, so they can't to begin with. Nicola Adele can't be bothered. Counter Solari is the most combative, but since they have few members, they're not generally involved in any large-scale activity.
And what about that?
Yes, we have no interest in status or property.
And that's the way that the balance of power is kept.
C'est juste parce qu'ils en ont rien à foutre. Très bien. Pourquoi il n'y a pas de guerre? Parce qu'on en a rien à carrer.
Falling apart at the hands of Counter Solari. This is common knowledge.
What sort of guild is Counter Solari?
They are, in a word, assassins. Shadowy figures who kill people for a price. These days, they've become especially active. So much so that the townspeople are getting anxious.
A group of assassins? They can't be left to their own accord.
C'est vrai que si ce sont juste des assassins, on devrait plutôt tous faire un raid pour se débarrasser d'eux, hein.
I've heard that they are skilled not only in the art of assassination, but that they command an extraordinary form of swordsmanship.
Ouais, mais y a rien de plus puissant que la force par le nombre, hein. Les grandes choses sont des combinaisons de petites choses.
It sounds as if those two are finally finished.
I'm back.
Well done, ma'am.
Thank you. The information you provided me is sure to come in useful. Are you hurt? Well, knowing you, I'm sure you're fine.
It was ultimately a draw of sorts. Or if I were to speak more precisely, my loss. I should have known better than to let ire and curiosity get the better of me.
Un match nul. Je pense que c'est parce qu'ils en avaient marre.
2 bookshelves were damaged in the process. 5 whole books were bent, and the pages of one of those were torn. On top of that...
Well, what's done is done, right? What do you say we start experimenting?
Tu vas plutôt qu'orange.
Yes, that's the right course of action. And that's exactly what I plan to do.
Don't make a mess, right?
Precisely. I still can't trust that you won't.
All right. What sort of experiment should we begin with?
Just what you were looking for. The resurrection of the dead. It's a topic that fascinates me as well. Let us go about things in that general way.
Are you sure? You don't stand to gain anything.
No, I stand to gain everything. Your words and actions are all strange and new to me. All shall therefore become my knowledge. Now, if our preparations are complete, let us commence our experiment.
Ça se demandait quelle était son histoire à la gamine. En quoi ça pourrait l'intéresser de la cité des morts?
How simplistic of you. To draw a soul close, you don't always need an intermediary, you know. You simply have to regulate the summoning process.
Your procedures are too complicated. Even the magical infusion has 10 individual steps.
En 2 dialogues, je pense avoir compris où est-ce que ça va nous mener.
They're not complicated. They're precise. See, I've put the formula together now.
You should call me efficient, not simplistic. The circle's ready. Pour your magic into it.
1, 2, 3, 4. The pieces don't fit together.
They don't, do they? I'll have to jump in and adjust the magic levels.
Yes, let's try to improve things by working in unison as a safeguard. Well then, let's chant, Isabel.
From the abyss show thyself. We call thy lifeless name to bring thee unto us. 4 legs, 2 eyes, teeth, and ears. Felis Sylvae.
It appeared. All right, now bind it in here.
All right.
Well then,
Let's see here.
J'ai été émerveillé pendant 12 secondes avec l'animation parce que je l'ai complètement oublié. Parce que j'ai très mauvaise mémoire. Je me souviens à peine comment se termine la partie ésotérique de cette saga. Et là on me dit ils ont ressuscité un chien, super. Comment t'aimes ton nouveau corps, le toutou? C'est très liquide.
How could a dog have appeared when we meant to summon a cat? Something in the character of the circle must be fundamentally incorrect. Perhaps if I were to streamline my methods...
Il voulait faire un chat. N'empêche que c'était bien essayé. C'est une bonne idée ça.
It's probably because I'm not used to intoning. My circle wasn't able to keep up with the complexity of the formula either. I need to draw more precisely.
Comme je l'ai dit, en 2 lignes, on avait déjà compris où est-ce que ça allait.
Isabel, jot out 3 magic circles for me, would you? I'll take care of this thing.
All right, give me some literature on intonation and 3 formulae. Any 3 are okay.
I beg your pardon. Eleanor, the repairs to the laboratory are complete.
Bonjour madame. Magnifique tenue.
Ah, thanks.
Oui, parce que je vous l'ai dit, j'ai déjà oublié beaucoup de choses. Je me souvenais même plus de cette tenue. Je me souvenais même plus qu'il y avait des femmes dans les pures de magie, mis à part Eleanor.
There is a matter I would like to inform you of. May I proceed?
Sure. Tell me right here.
Counter Solari seems to be active. It shouldn't be long now.
All right. You're dismissed.
Is something happening with the Guild of Assassins?
It's nothing. All right, so now for the formulae.
Don't you care about this land at all? Don't you want to stop the war?
You just can't get your mind off that, can you? If those dodos want to fight, then that's just what they should do. What more is there to say? It's a matter of priorities, Isabel. A war would naturally present problems, such as how we'll no longer be able to focus solely on experiments. However, stopping it would also require time. In that same amount of time, we could complete 100 spells. Don't you think it would be a waste?
You really don't care about anything other than research, do you?
No, I don't. You're just the same, aren't you?
I can't say.
Our concentration's been broken. Let us rest for a while. Would you like any tea?
I can do without the sugar, though.
Why is it, Isabel, that you want to bring the dead back to life?
You're cutting right to the chase?
Conversation is nothing if not sudden. But if you don't want to speak, then, well, keep your mouth shut.
I want to bring back someone I love. I just want to meet him one more time.
You've brought your magic to such heights in the name of a form of greed called love. That's not proper, is it, Isabel? It's a form of heresy.
Well, yes. At least in the land that I'm from, they say that resurrecting the dead is against nature's order.
And still you proceed with such great enthusiasm in order to make your wishes come true. There's a chance that the one you love isn't looking for resurrection, and yet you proceed with these forms of heresy.
I wanted to give up, but I just couldn't.
You seek to fulfill your own desires above all else. That is the tale of every mage, is it not? I am a mage, and therefore I am the unwavering servant of my own desires. Why care about this land or its people? I too am a child of men. I had a mother and a father. My mother was an average human, but for some reason she came to bear me, a child who had tens of thousands of times more magic than the average person. My mother was unable to withstand my power, and she drew her last breath just as I was born.
Oh,
My father, well, on the day I passed the entrance exams for the Magus Covenant, his life ended. I joined the Magus Covenant at the age of 10 and became its marshal. It was then that I made a vow.
sorry.
What indeed? Well, at any rate, Isabel, I act according to my own desires. I don't act for this land.
Sorry for making you speak about something so unpleasant.
I speak of this because I wanted to. Our break is over. Let us resume the experiment.
Il y a des gens faudrait qu'ils se calment avec leur moto. Putain, mais tu nous parles d'un sujet grave comme ça, Eleanor. La fleur, j'imagine que ça va être le passé. Le flashback. Généralement, le dos de carte, c'est pour le flashback.
Papa
Oui.
said he was glad that I was born. That even if I took Mama's life, I was meant to be. He was never good at lying. Papa, I'll become a mage second to none. I'll make up for Mama's death. I made this vow before the gates of the Magus Covenant. I hadn't even taken the entrance exam yet. Naturally, I passed, but all the same. Papa, I'm one of the Magus Covenant's... The moment I opened that door, I nearly drowned in the scent of blood. Papa! My father always kept a photograph of my mother with him wherever he went. That's how I knew he loved her. And I knew that that love was making him suffer. Still, to think that one could be murdered by love. Isn't that right, Papa? Mama looked shockingly like me in the photograph, so I loved her. Papa was an inept cook. His food was awful, but it was good enough. I loved him. He was important to me. I wasn't done loving him yet. But if that couldn't happen, then I wouldn't wish for it. But I could make a vow. I killed the one I loved and defiled the one I respected. My life has been a transgression against the order of this world. And so I'll bloom beyond the world's rules and beyond the bloom. The number of things that I lost was enormous. Uncountable. What was taken from me was tremendous and it can't be returned. So the least I can do is compensate. From today, from this moment on, I will be the cosmic flower. I'll bloom proudly, confidently, and I'll display to the world my incomparable value.
Je sais pas vous, mais ça me rappelle quelqu'un. On passe à la suite, on évite les mouchoirs, Après ça va là, c'était très dense, c'était très rapide. Allez, une petite battle, juste pour la forme. Pour oublier, hein. Allez, on va oublier.
Oh, it's no good. Things aren't falling together.
Après le des enfants morts vous avez une petite idée de qui c'est, sinon bah tant pis. Là c'est des parents morts, super.
It doesn't seem that they are. We've made correction after correction and the problems just keep piling up. That is, though, well enough. The answers one finds on the other side of worrying and wavering have a value all their own.
You're right. But we should do something to refresh ourselves. What do you say we go outside?
Huh? What happens if we go outside?
What do you normally do when you reach a dead end like this?
Normally, I don't do anything special. Either change the literature I'm looking at or switch to another experiment.
That won't refresh you at all.
I've never thought that I needed refreshment in the midst of experimentation.
So you spend every waking hour researching or experimenting?
Well, yes. To be accurate, I normally don't sleep very much, though.
Pardon?
You're kidding.
Bah oui, normalement t'es censé mourir dans ce genre de situation.
Of course not.
Ok. Ok, on va dire que c'est magique.
Anyway, let's head out for now. It'll feel a bit different if we're just able to get some fresh air.
That seems grossly inefficient, but I suppose if that's how things are done in your world, there's some value in trying it out. Of course, I'll...
Hey, come on already, let's go.
I'm not a child. You don't need to hold my hand.
Oui, mais tu monologues trop, t'es puni.
You can leave the attitude at home. Now come this way. This feels great. Don't you think so?
To be honest, I don't really know. The air in your world and the air in this world surely differ in subtle ways, and it may be that dissimilarity that's causing the difference in our perceptions.
You don't do anything to refresh yourself. You don't sleep. Hasn't anyone said anything to you about that? Like the other people in the Magus Covenant?
I am Eleanor Gloria, the cosmic flower. None dare speak against me.
Ah. She's still young. No, still a child. And yet she doesn't even sleep, let alone do anything to refresh herself. Is she really okay?
Those eyes of yours, Isabel. Are you worried about me?
Well, yes, I'm a bit concerned.
You're a peculiar person indeed. You're concerned about this land, and you're concerned about me. Why can't you go straight toward what you want?
I wonder. I can't say for sure.
Mother, Father, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting you.
She's not crying because she's lonely. She's crying because her parents are bound to this world, and they're suffering. Did I ever care about how Kyle would feel if I brought him back to life? How he'd feel if I bound him to this world? It's just like you say. I'm always wavering when it comes to approaching what it is that I want.
Don't you want to bring your partner back to life?
I wanted to do that. I still do, but...
No. This isn't the right way. Move on, Isabel. Don't look back.
I don't know.
Cette musique qui te met du drama à chaque flashback.
Don't know your own feelings? I didn't know that was possible.
For someone who creates such complicated formulae, you can sure sound simple.
For someone who creates such simplistic formulae, you certainly get deep inside your own head.
Isabel.
Bonjour, on va t'appeler Transition.
Rowan.
Do you know him?
Yes. Could we have a few moments alone?
Go ahead. I'll be back in the laboratory.
You got here in one piece too, I see.
Ouais, et on voit surtout que t'as encore ton regard de meurtrière.
Yeah. I heard that you were in the Mages Guild and came here.
Do you still want me to kill you?
No, I needed you to see this.
Stylé.
I finally understand now. Understand the potential of commanding and controlling the Black Dragon's power.
That's your way of taking responsibility, isn't it, Rowan?
There's no simple way to do that. I'm satisfied with having taken the first step.
But there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you won't go on the rampage again.
Yes, you're right about that.
Make me believe you, Rowan. Show me your power.
All right, I'll use this power. Not to die, but to live.
Ah, j'ai envie d'être déjà draconique là maintenant. Parce que c'est des animations franchement classe qu'il a. C'est juste dommage que tu peux pas la voir en fait. Mais sérieusement, tu peux pas jouer le Rowan corrompu.
Make me believe you.
I fight to live.
Enfin, si, tu le peux quand c'est le mode histoire. Là, comme ça, effectivement. Mais sinon, tu peux pas. Hein. Il dit rien. Normalement, dans le mode histoire, ils disent des choses. Mais bon, depuis un certain temps, ils ont changé ça. Un poisson.
Lawful evil. Chaotic good.
No stopping this land.
I want the edge.
Unbelievable!
Mon cerveau n'a pas capté. Attends, c'est une carte Rowan.
Embrace your vast potential.
You're done for.
Learn to covet on a greater scale. You leave a lot to be desired. Opportunities abound.
Oui, j'ai fait ça uniquement pour plus d'amulettes. Plus de symboles.
Rescuing people's a hobby of mine.
Alors l'épée fait des dégâts, l'épée de l'épée de mort fait des dégâts.
Never be content.
L'épée de vie augmente les PP. Qu'est-ce que tu parles de moi? Non, je parle pas de toi, papy, s'il te plaît, va-t'en. Pardon.
It won't be long now.
Toujours plus de symboles.
That's it for now.
No stopping this land.
C'est très bien. It's showtime.
It's showtime.
A happy little spell just for you. Presto!
This ends here.
You can feel the time for the grand finale.
J'ai utilisé tous mes points d'évolution, il a rien utilisé. Ça fait mal. C'est chiant.
This one doesn't count. He's still no match for Mr.
Tu peux
Dragon.
pas t'en débarrasser.
Be gone.
He won't let you harm Mr. Dragon.
Isabel.
Ça va. C'était pas au meilleur de sa force, hein. Clairement pas.
Ryne, you must have gone through so much in this world to gain powers like that.
I'm sorry. I'm still learning.
No, I don't want to say this. I'll end up wanting to forgive you. Forgive you for murdering Kyle. Go, Rowan. I understand now.
Right.
No matter what happens to you, the facts won't change. The past won't change. Remember, because if you change, then I'll have to change too.
Finished yet?
Weren't you going back to the laboratory?
I'm not sure about that. I found myself wondering about you. Your bad habits appear to be contagious.
Bad habits? That's a harsh way to put it.
It's a joke. Don't take it so personally.
I know. Do I really look that down?
You certainly don't look happy.
Oh, I'm helpless. Whatever the people around me do, I just follow along. In so many different ways.
You're suffering so much on account of setting your roots in the ground. You should set them somewhere outside the world. Like me.
Aren't you lonely?
That came out of nowhere, Isabel.
Conversation is nothing if not sudden.
Lonely? Nah, even if I were, it would be meaningless.
I don't really know. You might be...
Surely you're nice and refreshed now, Isabel. Let's return.
Yeah. This land, this girl, Rowan. I'm always getting distracted in some way or another. Would you hate me if you could see me, Kyle? Or would you just smile and laugh and tell me I'm being ridiculous?
Waouh, c'est la fin. Ah, je vais pas vous laisser ça au prochain épisode. On passe les combats et on fait ça. Hein. Tant pis si ça va jusqu'à 35 minutes. Hein.
Your magic's getting a bit rough around the edges, Isabel. Do you want to take a break?
I should. Sorry.
Something seems to be bothering you.
Really? You can tell all of that just by looking at my magic?
No, I was simply able to read the expression on your face.
You could tell from my face? I like that even less.
There's something you're seeking, and there's something I'm seeking. I'm a mage, and you're a mage. But you worry me. Why's that, I wonder?
I wonder if I'm just weak.
That's what I thought at first. But that's not what I think now. You're strong, you're intelligent, and your magic is rock solid. We're the same, but we're different. Is that the result of our different worlds?
I'm not sure about that. It could simply be a difference between you and I, rather than our worlds. I've always gone too easy on myself. It's been that way ever since I can remember. But especially since I was with him. He fulfilled my every desire. He was all I wanted. Everything that I was with him.
Ah, so you learned how to be this way. Or, I should say, you were taught to be this way.
That might be why I'm lost. No matter how much sadness or hatred is in my heart, I'm still too easy on myself.
If your behavior is learned, mine is innate. This way of life is the fate I was born into. It makes sense, then, that we'd be different.
I know that you're not as soft as I am. You see what you want and you go right for it.
Et bon, faut dire, elle a pas eu la meilleure des éducations, hein. Des parents morts yéyé.
I'm not so sure about that. I simply made a promise. In exchange for the irreplaceable life that I loved and which loved me, I bloom outside this world. In order to make up for the life that I took, I became a worthy flower, and I stand proud to bloom like no other.
I see. So you want to change the world in order to prove your own worth?
This flower has taken 2 lives, each one of a kind. It's only natural that I'm worthy of changing the world. Huh. This is the first time that I've spoken of any such thing.
Feeling a bit better?
No, quite the contrary. My heart's feeling heavy, and it's all your fault, Isabel.
Bonjour.
Huh. What indecorum? What do you want, Counter Solari?
Magis Covenants. Whose side are you on?
Answer wisely or you will be eliminated.
Answer.
You're telling me I'm on someone's side? Pathetic. Such complete idiocy. Don't you know my other name?
Answer, Eleanor Gloria.
In that case, I will answer you as the Cosmic Flower. I bloom for myself alone. Gaze upon me in awe and reverence.
Your actions have been judged hostile, and you will therefore be eliminated.
You worthless descendants of fallen knights! Do you think this flower can be crushed that easily?
I'll back you up. I don't know who these people are, but they need to get out of here.
Tell your master and tell your master well. Eleanor Gloria and the Magis Covenant will not participate in any earthly wars.
What was that?
De la gravité utilisée de façon horizontale.
There's nothing special to that technique. I simply manipulated gravity and blew them back.
They were from Counter Solari, weren't they? The Guild of Assassins.
Yeah, that's right. I swear, if they have enough free time to try ordering us around, they ought to be going after the Blade Rights instead.
Does that mean that Counter Solari and the others are going to kill each other?
That's a possibility, but not an inevitability. I don't have any other information. Sheesh, you're really concerned about this, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Faut dire, des nombreuses vies sont en jeu.
This is quite a conundrum. This world isn't anything to you. No, wait. That's it, isn't it? It's that if this world falls apart, then your friends here would have no place to go. In that...
You're not wrong, but there's more to it. It's hard to explain.
Bah, le fait qu'une vie reste une vie, même si c'est une vie étrangère.
Even putting my own goals aside, I can't help but worry about things.
Alright. I don't get it, but got it. I've got that I don't get it at all. I won't worry and I won't waver. I will bloom as myself. I will bloom. However, Isabel, you should worry more. You should waver. The answer that you worry and waver over may be one that greatly surpasses my own. I doubt it, but it's possible.
All right, let's give this a shot then.
I'll clean up the mess that Counter Solari left behind.
This land, that girl, Rowan, and you, Kyle. I don't know what to do about our future together. I know that I won't be able to stay like this for long. Counter Solari, the Order of Blade Rights. The wheels are turning here. I need to worry and I need to waver. I have to find it, don't I? My answer.
J'en ai marre de couper la parole accidentellement, mais il faut faire vite. On est déjà à 33 et bon, on est à la fin.
The past cannot be wiped, though there.
Ouais, c'est ce que je me disais, c'est exactement. C'est ce qu'on avait dit la dernière fois, c'est exactement la même chose. Donc on va se laisser là. La prochaine fois, draconique. Je crois que c'était ça. C'était draconique et vampirique. Ensuite, nécromancier, ecclésiastique, dimensionnel et royaux. Je crois que c'était ça l'ordre qu'ils étaient sortis. Donc bon, c'est la fin de cet épisode. Je vous dis à bientôt pour de nouvelles épisodes de Shadowverse.